under GG's coaching, I also want you to touch on that and the differences he's made. Lost the test series, but what's looking ahead for the ODIs now?
I think GG, the white ball coach, has already left a bit of a stamp.
You spoke about Bumrah there briefly. So what do we do with him now with regards to workload? You know how important he is in the team. So what's the way forward with him?
Do not step into the test side. And that's what I would tell him. Several times when India were in England, I felt like India was down and out. But England found a way to hand the match back to India. Are we becoming ancient with our expectations? Are we becoming a bit archaic?
Definitely not.
I think I'm going to make a statement which could be up for debate. Interesting people come from interesting places, AB. They do interesting jobs and end up becoming legends and champions. And Temba is probably on the way to becoming one. In fact, the way he handled Keshav Maharaj in the last test where he was struggling to get a wicket, to bring him back against a left-hander, saying, "You are my senior statesman," and gave him a go, went for 3 sixes, got his wicket, closed the game out, gave it to Keshav Maharaj saying, "You're my champion, you're going to get those wickets." Suggested a lot about a leader.
Hi there guys, welcome to the 360 show. Today is a very special episode as I have a special guest with me. We discuss the India-South Africa series as Temba Bavuma and his troops for the first time in 25 years went over to India and won that series 2-0. A clean sweep, absolutely incredible performance and proving to everyone they are the deserved holders of the mace of the World Test Championship. We also discussed the ODI and T20 series upcoming, not far away now, and we're all looking forward to that. And also the different coaching styles between Shukri Conrad and Gautam Gambhir. Very interesting dynamic. It's all on the 360 show. It is the one and only Ravi Ashwin who joins me today. I hope you enjoy this conversation.
T20 World Cup coming up. There's some ODIs and T20s coming up. Where does South Africa go on from here?
I think over the last 5 ODIs, India have won 4 of them. And I think this will be an area where South Africa might have a tougher time going into the series away from home. Yes, they would have taken some confidence from the test win, but this is a different format. Things will happen faster. And Team India's ODI and T20 stats look absolutely amazing. Now, there's been change of captaincy. There's been some players that's been left out with Rohit, Virat. What's the dynamic like in the ODI format for Team India under GG's coaching? I also want you to touch on that and the differences he's made. Lost the test series, but what's looking ahead for the ODIs now?
Look, recently what's really worked for GG is the fact that T20 cricket has really taken off. But ODI, we recently lost the series in Australia. It's quite an interesting series, was hit by rain quite a bit. Rohit seemed in fine form. Virat came back to form in the last ODI in Sydney. I expect the ODI series to revolve around Rohit and Virat, and that's exactly how it would go. The poster boys of Indian cricket, they're probably back in this format. I think GG, the white ball coach, has already left a bit of a stamp, but that is a lot of credit to the IPL in many ways. It's thrown up some really stunning white ball cricketers for India, and namely Abhishek Sharma. That's one cricketer I would love to watch out for again in the T20 format. His exploits around the format will also dictate where India go in the T20 World Cup. A bit of a fearless approach. Once upon a time, I played for India in the T20 format and always wanted the batters to play in this fashion. It doesn't always happen when you're playing. It has to happen when you're retired. So I'm glad it's happened. A fearless brand of cricket, which we always wanted to happen. With Surya at helm, that is a T20 side that would be feared on its day. Sure, that team will have its Achilles heel, but they look to have all bases covered with Bumrah's defensive bowling. Inside the power play, he attacks a bit. We've got Varun Chakravarti, who's really nailing those crucial overs for us. Akshar Patel doing a bit of a job with the bat and ball. His batting has come through a lot. Kuldeep Yadav delivers a lot with an attacking option as a Chayaman bowler. I think that T20 team is in an outstanding place. I wouldn't say the same thing about the ODI setup. I think there is a little bit of senior statesmen in the team. Also, a lot of youngsters coming into that side. I should be very careful when I say this, but I would say that Gambhir has managed to leave an impact on the T20 side of things, where again, he's been quite experimental in terms of the batting order, which has come for some debate. So these next 10 T20Is that India will play before the T20 World Cup, will give us an indication of how much of a shake-up that team is also going to go through. I would love to see a lot more stability, AB, in terms of what we do with the batting lineup.
You spoke about Bumrah there briefly. So, what do we do with him now with regards to workload? You know how important he is in the team. So, what's the way forward with him?
I've got a great relationship with him. If I was anywhere near him, I'd go and tell him, you know what, just play the white ball format. Unless and until we need you, do not step into the test side. And that's what I would tell him. But I know him personally. He loves the test format. He wants to play as long as he wants, as long as he can. He knows it's going to be a challenge, but I think for Indian cricket's sake and for Bumrah's sake, I'd love to see him play T20 cricket. I wouldn't want him to play meaningless ODIs. I would want him to play meaningful test matches, if that makes sense. I'd only want him for the away test matches, and I would want to build a crop of other fast bowlers when we are playing at home as well. So Bumrah is a treasure for India, a unique action which sets him apart, which also gives him a lot of troubles with his physical workload management. And that's how I would view Bumrah in the future, an absolute champion who's set up some very famous victories for India in the last few years.
What I would personally do is all subcontinent test matches. I would just pull him out, and I would play him for only away games in Australia, South Africa, New Zealand, England, all the test matches there. Make sure he's fresh for that, and then obviously focus on white ball cricket where there are World Cups up for grabs. Just quickly on the leadership in T20 cricket with Surya Kumar Yadav now. Is that format, is it still an area where a leader can have a big role to play as captain? Or is it too fast? What's your take on that with regards to leading a T20 side?
I think I'm going to make a statement which could be up for debate, but honestly, I think data-wise, analytically, and just mopping up a lot of stats from the outside, T20 teams will eventually be run by good analytical engines. With all these timeouts happening, I think entry points of batters and the kind of overs and matchups will start coming in from the outside, which is one area that the game will almost automize in the future. So the captain largely needs to be of that variety who will be able to imbibe technology and imbibe external intervention. Like, the captain should be open to it, because I played with a lot of captains who absolutely hate external intervention, but that will have to change over the next few years. I think the game is headed there. And last but not the least, I also think Surya is a very open-minded character who can do a lot of good work for the team. Quite selfless, was willing to give up his own spot to be able to accommodate others in the batting order, which is something I would hate to see going forward, leading up into the World Cup. That Indian team is an extremely strong and intimidating Indian side, which, let alone to be played with a lot of freedom, could inflict a lot of damage into that tournament. So the last thing I want to see is shuffling of batting orders, and people not knowing where exactly they will enter into a particular game is something I want to see avoided over the next few months.
I think AI will take over. Honestly, it's going to be like soccer or football, where the captain wears that armband and that's basically all he does. And he's the one to complain with the referee and the umpires, and that's going to be his role. But I truly believe that with the stats and T20s, it's quite predictable, right? With your power play overs, your first six, then it's the middle overs, then the finishing, the death. There's so much analysis about all the players, and it's quite interesting to see where that game is going. I personally I wasn't a big fan of stats and also outside intervention from the coaches telling me what to do. I would generally have a blueprint of a plan of who to bowl and who not. But I would really rely on gut feel, and hopefully for the sake of the game, we sort of don't get rid of that. As just last but not least, just a quick touch on the Ashes. England going down 1-0 there. That was remarkable, right? A day and a half of Test cricket. Do you see England coming back in the series?
My favorite hot topic in the cricketing fraternity is talking about Bazball, AB. Yeah, look, I don't think Brendan McCullum personally likes being addressed to it as Bazball. But I don't get the point of you having to play Test cricket if you cannot adapt on the go, and it
Exactly.
becomes meaningless. Like, we just got off a chat where we were speaking about yourself and Faf defending the entire day out in Adelaide. Was it Adelaide? If I'm not wrong, it was
Adelaide,
Adelaide, right?
yes.
That
That's
that
right.
was that was something that you can watch on loop mode. Like, even if somebody played it from morning to evening, I would again watch it. It's like watching a lovely movie with good ebbs and flows.
I wouldn't.
I that's probably because you were involved in it, and we don't like watching ourselves sometimes. The interesting bit about what England's doing is they're making it a compelling watch. At the same time, you just go, no, man, that's not how it needs to be happening. Like several times when India were in England, I felt like India was down and out, but England found a way to hand the match back to India. They had done the same thing against Australia in the first test. You've been preparing for it, and everything has been pushed under the carpet over the last 3 years in a bid for England to go to the Ashes and do what they're currently doing. And I'm sure it's a very disappointing bit. I don't believe England has enough to be able to come back. If you cannot have a game where Cummins is not playing and Hazelwood is not playing and you're ahead by 40, 50 runs in the first innings in Perth, and you can't drive home the advantage, I don't see how they're going to come back. At the same time, that particular team could just go bonkers in a test match and also could come back, because you can never say anything for guarantee in the game of cricket. I'd love to see how Australia take this on board, because they have got a chance here to literally put England on the ground and rub it into them. I don't know where you view it. I don't. Where do you see? Because you're someone who plays aggressive cricket yourself. Where do you see this?
Yeah, it's so frustrating to watch, right? Because I watched that test match, and I'm a big believer in sort of adapting to the situation. And when there's an opportunity to do a counter punch, by all means, go for it. So there will be times where you're going to be overly aggressive, and there will be times where you'll have to just absorb. And there's nothing in between. That's just Test cricket, and that's why it's called Test cricket. They had an incredible opportunity to nail Australia down in that first Test match just by playing normal cricket for 1 hour. And Australia probably would have pushed out a bit and gone like, you know what, we need to defend here because we're going to chase like 340, 350, whatever. And England just weren't prepared to do that. So it really is a shame. And you know what's the tricky and the dangerous part for them is they're going to come to a point where I feel behind the scenes there might be some friction. And I don't think they're far away from that. This might be the series where you keep losing test matches where you know just with a little bit of brain work, we should have won that test match. But if you try and play a brand and the brand becomes bigger than the team itself, I feel that becomes a problem.
I just wanted to raise one more thing that I observed after the game. I think it was Brendan McCullum or was it Ben Stokes in the post-match interview. They somehow feel they got very sensitive in defending their batting lineup.
To be honest, I thought 200 was a good score. I thought it was a very defendable score, I think.
Sure, 200 was a reasonable score, but imagine putting your bowling lineup on the park on every single day of the test match, and your bowlers are not going to get the overnight rest. I do not know if I'm a part of the bowling attack, how happy I would feel about that statement, because in a bid to protect your own brand of cricket, you actually let down your bowlers. And for how long would that keep happening? And I can already sense a few daggers coming out with this brand of cricket from within England. So I wouldn't be surprised with friction.
You see, the problem is, Ash, is most wickets away from the subcontinent, they play the flattest on day 3. In South Africa, in Australia, that is where you really want to be batting. They never get there. So we wouldn't know what the wicket would have played like in Perth. And maybe towards the back end of day 2, that's where it got a bit flatter, and Travis Head took full advantage of that. Because that's generally the trend in Australia, where the back end of day 2, going into day 3, that's where you want to be a batter out there in the middle. But the England team is just not getting to those phases of the test match. And that's what's costing them. So they can't blame the bowlers. I'm sorry. You can't have a day and a half test match and say the wicket is difficult and we blame our bowlers. 200 was a defendable total. There's just no chance.
That's going to lead me on to one simple question that I have to ask with you, AB. Of course, sure, this Bazball is a brand of cricket, and you spoke about the brand getting larger than the game itself. A little bit of frustration when I watch, because I'm a cricket fan and a cricket nut. When I watch this English side, I just feel Ben Stokes, Harry Brook, Zach Crawley, sure, he's driving on the up at the moment, but looks a gun player. Ben Duckett. Then who am I missing out? I'm missing on someone. Probably Joe Root. This is not a batting lineup that's not talented enough to put some time investment inside in the middle. Does it also irk a bit of frustration when you see them do different things and get out?
There's the problem with the brand they're trying to play as a batting unit is it, and especially when the coach and the captain and everyone protects you in the media, you get a license and you get a cop out. So you can just have a cop out and say, I was playing the brand. I played a reverse sweep when I shouldn't have. I was on 15. We weren't allowed to lose a wicket because we would lose the momentum, but I just decided reverse sweep is the brand we're playing. And that is sort of, it takes the responsibility away from the players. And that's why I say I think they're close to where some of the players, I don't know when it's going to happen and if it will happen. But personally, to me, if I was in the team, I would feel obliged to at some point go, you know what, that we should have been 1-0 up here, guys. Let's not kid around here. With a little bit of fight, just a little bit of character for 1 hour, it would have changed the whole test match. And now we're 1-0 down away from home in an Ashes series and there's nowhere to hide. We shouldn't be in this situation. So I think those conversations are not far away. Another test loss with a similar kind of setup. I think some cracks might appear in that batting lineup.
We are going to wrap up. We've had a lot of amazing cricketing, insightful chat. But before that, I want to ask another question leading up onto that. Several times I make observations on the game, watch the game with a lot of passion, speak about it now because I don't play it. Neither are you playing at this point of time. Maybe is this a generational thing, AB? Are we standing in the middle of a generational change where these players are telling us that we don't want to block the ball anymore and this is how we want to play the test game? Are we becoming ancient with our expectations? Are we becoming a bit archaic?
Definitely not. No, I'm the first to say that I probably should have been a bit more attacking in Test cricket, and I love the attacking side of it. There's nothing more beautiful than a team or a captain and a bowling unit or a batting unit reading the situation to the T, you know. And when we were playing good Test cricket between 2008 and 2013, I think that was probably our strongest suit, is just to understand different moments. Like, here's an hour now. I'm out there with Jar Callis. If we lose a wicket here now, this bowling lineup will run through us. So am I going to go all out attacking? Is it the time for the counter punch right now? Or is it time to just put my body on the line for 20 minutes and see what happens? Anything can change in 20 minutes. That bowler might get a bit tired. He might give me 1 or 2 bad deliveries. The minute I get an opportunity or a sniff, and that's what we did well during those 5 years, I would identify a moment and sort of run through the door and say, Jakes, now it's the time to apply. Let's go for it. And Jacques will communicate with me. So I think that's missing. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not saying don't score 100 of 100 balls anymore. You can still do that in Test cricket, but there's a way to do it. You can still leave a couple of balls to the best bowler when the ball's still swinging. 10 minutes later, the swing is away. That bowler goes off for a rest. There are 2 new bowlers on there, and maybe there's an opportunity. It's just read the situation and play Test cricket for what it is. It's supposed to be the biggest challenge. So it shouldn't just be T20 cricket hitting the ball all over the park. So that's the frustrating part.
As insightful a cricket chat as it can get. Totally loved it, AB, but it's now time to just put you on a spot. ODI series and T20I series coming up. India versus South Africa. South Africa has got the best out of India in the test series. Predictions, early and only predictions, because I won't be predicting this one.
It's a tough one. Really difficult to say. I think South Africa will be competitive in both the series. I don't think we'll get whitewashed in both. I think it's the strongest suit of Indian cricket right now is white ball cricket. I think we have more of an opportunity in ODIs, T20s. Anything can happen, but Team India looks stronger. There's no doubt about it. And obviously we got the memory of that World Cup in the West Indies where India won that final against us. Maybe that will be enough to sort of urge South Africa on to try and cross the line. But unlikely in T20s. I think the ODI, South Africa's got a really good chance of winning.
In the T20Is, AB, I think you're understating your chances. If they do play on spinning pitches that are difficult for South Africa to play, then I do understand. But if the pitches are good, with Devol Davis, Donovan Ferreira, who am I missing? Tristan Stubbs, and there is a few more. I think you're seriously underestimating your chances, because I would put South Africa. If South Africa gets their bowling in line, I wouldn't hesitate in putting South Africa as one of the favorites going into the T20 World Cup. Fingers crossed. Let's wait and watch what the T20 series beholds. And most importantly, this was a great chat, AB. Look forward to more such collaborations, because I think people who are listening are really going to benefit out of it. It was great talking to you, AB.
Thanks, Ash. Appreciate your time, and take care. All the best with that injury.
Thanks, buddy. Cheers.
Cheers, man.
What an enjoyable chat with Ash. I absolutely love that. I love the way he thinks about the game, and also some interesting topics we covered there. I would love to know what you guys think about the ODI and T20 series coming up between South Africa and India. So please post your comments down below in the descriptions box. Also, subscribe to the channel, like the show, and hit that bell notification. Also, follow Ash His YouTube channel is called Ashwin. He's got over 1.7 million subscribers now. He is loved and followed by many cricket lovers around the world. So give him a follow. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's 360 show. Until next time, bye now.